got another UK friendly here. This is the Enzo PK 70 pocket knife. Straight up, this is quite a very nice looking pocket knife. Now on this side, I'd consider this to be the show side because this handle is way nicer than this one. Now let's open up this S30V Scandinavian ground blade. By the way, I will say I think this version may be discontinued. You can still get the flat ground version with different scales, but I think this specific one is discontinued. Now at the time of me buying this, I paid about £105 of Heine Haynes. Not sure what the price is on it now. I've had this thing for about 5 years and I've never taken it out because of the price, and I don't want to scratch it or damage it. So I've never really put it to any use at all. I've done a little bit of whittling with it at home. That's the only action this has seen. Well, that and slicing up paper to see how sharp it is. I have stropped it a few times. Never sharpened it. Although that is one of the reasons why I bought this knife, is because Scandinavian grinds are really easy to sharpen. Anyone who has a Mora knife or any Scandinavian ground knife would know how easy the Scandi grind is to sharpen compared to other knives, such as a flat ground or a hollow ground. And the Scandinavian grind lends itself really well to whittling and woodworking. So that's why I chose this version of this knife. Now, unfortunately, Scandinavian ground UK legals are very limited. I only own 2, and there's only 3 I've ever known of. This being one of them, the Bushcraft store The Boar pocket knife, which I'll show you in a second, and the Spyderco UK PK in the Scandi grind. I wish I bought a Spyderco UK PK Scandi when they were still available, but now they're discontinued, which is a shame. Had I known that they were going to be discontinued, I would have picked one up. So let's compare it to the Bushcraft store Boar pocket knife, which is right here. Now this knife is also in curly birch, and I think for the money you're actually a lot better with the Boar. Now I couldn't tell you where either one of these knives are made, although I think the Enzo is made by a Finnish company. Whether it's actually made in Finland or not, that's another story. The Boar, well, I'm pretty sure the Boar is an English design. I don't know where it's made though. I want to say this is made in England or somewhere else in the UK, but I'm doubting it. Possibly Taiwan or China, but they don't actually tell you. Now, this one is in N695. I don't really know much about that steel, so I'm not really going to comment. I mean, steel isn't something I'm really too fussed about for the most part anyway. I don't really know much about knife steels, although admittedly I am trying to learn now. We'll see. This one's also Scandinavian ground. I'm not really sure which blade shape I like the more, but actually one thing I forgot to mention about this is these liners in here, which are full liners by the way, are kind of sharp. It's kind of uncomfortable. It makes it uncomfortable to hold the knife. The knife as a whole is quite comfortable, but those liners, I mean, they should have chamfered them, rounded them off. Now, this knife has the same issue, although I decided to take a file to this thing and sort of round them off, which helped a little bit. Now, you can see here, these handle scales, in my view anyway, are a lot nicer. Now, although this thing does not have a clip, the handle is much more comfortable, and you can see it is actually nicely shaped. It does have a palm swell, opposed to this thing which is completely flat. Now, it being completely flat isn't actually a bad thing. It just means it will sit comfortably in the pocket and it will sit really flat on the table. Now, what's the price difference of these knives? Well, about 40 quid actually. The Bushcraft store, the Boar knife, is about 60 quid. As I said previously, the Enzo PK70 is a £105 knife. Honestly, for the money, I'd say you're better with the Bushcraft store, the Boar knife. Now, it is a design of the Bushcraft store, but I think it is a much better knife, and the Boar I do actually intend on using because it is considerably cheaper. They're still in production, and it just feels like a much better, much more comfortable knife. You can also get the bore in a few different handle materials, but we're not really talking about that knife right now. By the way, for an extra 10 quid, you can get a really, and I mean a really high quality leather sheath from the Bushcraft store with that knife. Definitely worth it. I was blown away by the quality of that sheath compared to every other sheath I have. So is this a good option for UK friendly carry? Might be a bit on the aggressive side for the UK. It is extremely well finished. I don't know if those scratches came like that or if it was me or something. Like I said, I have had this thing for about 5 years. Overall, it is a really well made knife. I had forgot to mention that it does have a half stop. Now, depending on where you're holding it, that may or may not save you. But at least it has it. I'd say it's a good knife. 100 quid might be a bit much. Would I recommend it? If you're looking for a knife exactly like this, yes. If not, maybe look for something else. Now, if you're looking for a Scandigram knife for bushcraft that is UK legal, probably better with this. That pretty much concludes the video on this knife. Thanks for watching.